Hey everybody, so we are on, like Samantha said, week 29 for me. And this is a common problem, especially in times of being stressed out, of being pulled in a lot of different directions, being overstimulated with everything going on in the world and the news, whatever. A lot of times the issue with memory is we're not even like I don't want to say like not present, but we don't like take in the information to even form the memory. And so the idea of memory and memory processing is not just functions in the brain, but it's also the ability to take in information and process information. So things like stress play a significant role in dealing with memory issues because like sometimes we're distracted, we're multitasking, our head somewhere else and something happens. And then when we try to recall it, there's nothing to recall because we never formed the memory in the first place. It just didn't sink in. And so the thing that I find kind of interesting and fascinating about memory is it kind of plays a role or some of the same mechanisms, I should say, in like with clairvoyance or intuition, observation. The idea of clairvoyance is not just like, oh, I see the energy around a person. I see this color. I see that color. It's also the ability to see a piece of information and have it like expand into something much greater than what the mind already knows. The intellect is always dealing with the past. Intuition is dealing with the here and now and even potentials that are beyond the senses. So, like the potential for a new experience or something spontaneous, something that's outside our normal experiences. This is pierced through the practice of intuition. And the other day, uh, we've been traveling around, not just for the weekend, but like we did a fire ceremony with a group on Friday. And, Samantha and I were talking about it afterwards, and she was saying, it's this very intense process, and there's like a hat and these instruments and everything, and the flow of the ceremony, there's kind of a lot to it. And Samantha was asking me, she was like, did you memorize that? Or like I can't remember what exactly you said. You were like, how did you know to do those certain things? And from the point of view of intellect, you go, well, like I memorize these things, these are the procedures, this is the outline, you do this step, this step, this step, this step. And I said, like, that's the thing with ceremony, is it's not about that. It's not about going through these procedures or these steps. It's even the person who Pran Preet was asking, like, I can't remember what she said, but like how did you know, or like what do you do, or does it just come to you? And it's almost it's the same idea of accessing information in the ethers. Is I get the idea of it and everything, but like before, like we sit down to ceremony, it's not like I'm thinking about all the details. It's like sitting in the car. Like, you might not think about all the different things. You're getting into a new car, but you sit there and you start looking around. You go, okay, that's the gas pedal, that's the brake, this is the wheel, this is how you turn it on and off. Some cars are different than others. This is how all these things happen. And you kind of sit and you get a feel for it. And then you go, okay, let's make this baby move. Right. And it's the same idea with the ceremony is I understand some of the premises, but then when I sit down and got the hat on and got some of the tools and I'm sitting in front of the fire, it becomes very clear what needs to be done. And it's not from the point of view of that I've studied this or I've read about this. It is this like access point to something internal. You're having an inner sort of kind of awareness. And that's the beautiful thing about intuition, and that's the beautiful thing about clairvoyance. It's the idea of just looking at something, being able to see colors is such a low level of clairvoyance that, you know, people will sometimes get stuck on that. But it's this ability of like tapping into, you could call it truth. Like truth is dynamic. It's not just like a fact that you stick on the shelf. You look at it and it opens up into this really big thing that you wouldn't experience unless you have the ability to sit with it, observe it, and have it blossom and open up and show you all these different aspects. And I would say the same for memory. The reason why I'm talking about this is, you have your memories of this or that, but sometimes if you sit with the memory, all of a sudden the memory opens up and you start seeing things that, even though you might not have processed it in the moment, right? Even though you go back and you look at like, oh, this thing that happened 10 years ago, sit there and you look at it and you're kind of recalling some of the things and you sit with it, all of a sudden you see other dynamics that were always there, right? They were always there, but we didn't quite process them in the moment. And this is still tied to this aspect of memory, of being able to bring something forth that even your mind might only perceive a little piece of it. Sometimes that data is up there. And a good example of this is even like a dream. A dream, there's stress dreams, there's nightmares, there's things like that. But a lot of times dreams are a kind of perception or a kind of realization. And you wake up and you go, oh, there's this thing that happened in my dream, and this happened, that happened. And then you go, okay, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to put pen to paper. Or you start talking about it with somebody, and so much more information comes out about the dream that is not necessarily what you first remembered, right? As you start to sit and put your attention and awareness on something, your perception of the situation grows and evolves. And I think the thing that we have sometimes with memory is, for one, we kind of pigeonhole it into just a fact retrieval system. And we don't really look at it as a place to, a thing to take us to a place to where it can open up and have access to much greater pieces of information. And I think that's an important part of memory that we really tend to overlook or are not even aware that it's there. And so, yes, of course, we want to improve our memory. Yes, we want to be able to recall something when we're going, that movie, with that guy in it, and, it's in that thing, and he's in that other movie. We want to be able to blow past all that kind of stuff. But there's other things to remember that are much greater, much more valuable, and sometimes much dearer to the heart that we can recall and open up that we wouldn't necessarily do otherwise. And so, I don't know. There's a lot more to memory than just how we think about memory. And so this is something that could be also used as prevention for dementia, to offset stress. This weekend is a 1 day class where we're hitting vagal tone and things like dystonia and asthenia that impacts the nervous system and dysfunction and would impact our ability to remember and perceive. So hopefully you can join us. It's just a 1 dayer. And so hopefully you can join us for that. But enough of me yakking about this and that. Let's jump into memory. So the blend is memory support, and we're going to start off with a standard approach. And again, this is something you could do on a daily basis as an add-on to other processes or as a stack with other Auric programs. So you're going to begin inhaling. Your awareness is on the whole left side of your body, the whole left side. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Mhm. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Your awareness is on the left side of the body. And then let's do the front side of the body. The whole front side, the face and throat, the chest, the abdomen, down the fronts of the legs to the tops of your feet. The whole front side. The right side of the body. The whole right side. Right side of the face and neck, the right shoulder and hip, down the outer leg to the right outer ankle. And the backside of the body, the whole backside, backside of the head and neck, your whole back and hips, down the backs of your legs to your heels, the whole backside. And then pause and be still. Pause and be still. Notice how you feel, your body, your emotions, your thoughts. And again, this is the standard approach, something that can be done daily, again, with another process that you might be doing. Or you could be doing it as an Auric stack, which is something where you would take maybe 3 or 4 other Auric programs and do them all together as a process unto itself. So let's jump into the advanced approach. This is something that you would do 1 to 2 times a week. And again, you're giving your time, you're giving yourself time to process this, your energy body, your physical body. So you could do the standard approach in between, but this is something that you would be doing on a daily basis. Your awareness is on the left side of the body. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Your awareness is on the left side of the face and neck, left shoulder, all the way down to the left outer ankle. Nice, long, slow, deep breath. Now move your awareness to the back side of the body, the whole back side, back of the head and neck, your whole back, down the backs of your hips and legs, all the way down to your heels. Then the right side of your body, the whole right side. Right side of your face and neck, your right shoulder and ribs, your right hip, down the outer leg to the right outer ankle. The front side of your body, face and throat, chest, abdomen, all the way down to the tops of your feet. And then just pause and be still. And just being still. Let's begin inhaling. Your awareness is on your knees, either the whole knee or the back of the knee. Your awareness is on your knees. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And then your awareness is on the ankles. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on the ankles. The soles of your feet. Your awareness is on the soles of your feet. And then pause and be still. Pause and be still. And then pause and be still. Okay, we're doing the quadrants again. Left side of your body, the whole left side of your face and neck, your left shoulder, all the way down to the left outer ankle. The front side of your body, the whole front side, your face and throat and chest, abdomen, down the fronts of your legs to the tops of your feet. The front side of your body, face and throat, chest, abdomen, all the way down to the tops of your feet. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. The right side of the body. The whole right side of your face and neck, your right shoulder, hip, all the way down the outer leg to the right outer ankle. The back side of the body, the whole back side. The whole back side of the body. Back of the head and neck, your whole back, hips, all the way down to your heels. Just pause and be still. Okay, last little piece. Your awareness is on the brain. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on the brain. Your awareness is on the spine. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths with your awareness on the spine. Your brain and spine both at the same time. Brain and soles of your feet. You're taking nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Your awareness is on the brain and the soles of your feet. And as you inhale, you're moving your awareness up above your ankles. As you exhale, down into the earth. Inhale up, exhale down. And then pause and let go. Notice how you feel your body, your emotions, your thoughts. The thing that I would say about treating memory is, it's just not a one time thing or you do it for a week or two. It's best treated over a long period of time. You're shifting the nervous system, you're increasing blood flow to the brain, you're shifting things in the aura, the energy body. And so consistency is the key to shifting something like this. And so, anyway, let's go ahead and share experiences, ask questions, and then after that, we'll get into our normal Q&A. But first, we'll do the Auric programming questions and shares for just a few minutes, and then we'll jump right into the normal questions, or as normal as we can get. So go ahead and fire away.
Go ahead, Denise, then Dan.
Hey, Denise.
Hello. I have a lot of disconnect off to that left side, especially down around my feet, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Any suggestions? I mean,
So it just
I
always
have
feels like, what does it feel like heavy or?
like I don't have as strong a connection there. I have rolled that outside that ankle at one point in time. But I think it's
Yeah,
maybe I'm not as
like the
grounded.
energy is all the way up down that left side is a little bit like denser, like your aura doesn't look like as round on that part. Um, let's see, what should we do about that? And this is something that you've mentioned before, so you've been working on it, right?
Yeah, yes, I really do struggle with that. And I think it might even affect that osteoporosis up in that left hip too. So probably that whole left side. It might have been, who knows, maybe when the horse fell on top of me. I don't know.
How,
But
how about we have you use like some form of health raise, like health
okay.
raise, healthway premium. If you don't have health raise, maybe helichrysum. And instead of doing the four quadrants, let's just have you really focus on that left side. You can still do the other quadrants, but like five times as much longer on that one side. Really you could just do the left side sometimes. Sometimes even when I'm doing healing, like there is this aspect in aura, because like here we're talking about the auric program, but eventually we even expand outside the aura and the auric program, and we start to tap into more of the astral component of the energy body. And so like sometimes when I'm going through and doing healing, like be it on myself or somebody else, is that sometimes the sides can get weirdly congested.
Mm,
And I would say that that probably, I mean, it can always be an injury or something that happened on that side of the body. But I would say that the tendency is that there tends to be a little bit more of like that astral component, like that emotional component.
mm,
But how we talk about emotions being generated in the body and the physiology, it's kind of beyond that. Like it'd be like the stuff of your dreams and the stuff that you process internally. It's not like your everyday kind of emotions. It's kind of like stuff you come in with and stuff that you're processing and stuff that influences a lot more of like the direction of your life and things like that. And so let's have you start with the health raise. I think that's a really good place to do some work with it. And then from there, there are ways to kind of go through and pop some of that stuff, but you really have to kind of prep the energy body because like when you go deeper out into that area, that energy that gets released, it still kind of comes through the body. So, like that's why we do a lot of like the organs of blood purification. We do a lot of the arms and legs. We do a lot of the spine. We do a lot of materialization breath. And, that idea of materialization is a way of kind of cleaning up some of the things in the astral body, the astral realm. And so, you know
So
that
maybe do the materialization breath
do
after
the
I do that.
materialization breath, especially the component of um if you did that one where we did action, inertia, and integration, and if you didn't, um use something like I would use something like maybe like do it in threes if it's possible. Like start with maybe cinnamon and then do mugwort and then do let's see, I have some things in my notes. Let me look at my notes. Trying to do this from memory, and ironically we're doing the memory or programming and I'm like, I remember what it is. Valerian, like Valerian or vetiver.
Okay.
Because the idea is, that's the thing that's really nice about the materialization, especially when we go into like deeper aspects of materialization. It's not just about like, oh, I'm trying to heal or I'm trying to get my goal or my job or, whatever. There really is mechanics that come into play when you're doing work that has to do with materialization, be it however you're doing it, even if it's just prayers, that really is hard to access in other ways. And the the thing is like at first you're going beyond the senses, you're tapping into something beyond the senses, and then you're bringing something in motion. And then from bringing something in motion, there we have the tendency to get distracted either by other people or our stuff or whatever it might be. And so, like, we kind of go through and refine that. And the idea of then using the Valerian, this is usually done more for like health and healing. Um, the Valerian Vetiver would work, Spikenard would work, but Valerian is the best. Like even if you didn't have those, if you
I
didn't have
do.
Valerian, you could also use like maybe vagal tone. Um, the idea for that is that it's a it's a restorative, and so part of what we call like our difficulties in healing and disease is really in some way, in some area, in something's not processing. Granted, we get older, our body ages, things like that. But I'm talking about like when we have like, oh, there's a blockage here, or there's something going on, or, I look at it from the point of view of like, okay, my injury to my back and my knees and all that. There's some sort of blockage there that's not being processed. And so we look at the physiology and we look at the homeostatic emotion and how things, we look at all these different aspects, right? And so like that idea of like how we're working the different aspects of the planetary energies. It's waking up kinds of consciousness within us that we can go through and process out of some of these things, because a lot of these things that we think of as a pain in the butt that we can't deal with, that's been a little bit of a pattern in our life, is we came in with it. It's been going on for a very long time, not just this lifetime. It's been going on for a very long time. So how do we kind of process out of some of these things, right? And so the work with materialization becomes kind of key, because it it moves energy in those areas, but at the same time, if there's a blockage, we're either going to push through it or it's going to come up so that we can kind of go through and address it. And it's not going to be the whole thing at once, but it's going to be these little pieces of it at a time. And sometimes when other things aren't working, to go through and do the materialization process in these things is like a way of like just continually kind of pushing through this, like this wall or this boundary of whatever it is it might be. And then if you step back and you go, okay, you have the difficulty with your son, you have things that you're dealing with, and they're lifelong. Like, they're
Yeah.
not necessarily just a right now thing. And so the idea of using the materialization process is you're materializing light in those. So you're learning lessons, you're moving through them. And the thing about materializing light is that you're breaking out of the repetition of why that keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on and on, throughout the lifetime, and sometimes even several lifetimes. And so let's have you start with the health raise, and then go through and start doing some of the materialization work. You know, with everything going on, where we're coming back around to where we're going to be doing a lot more deeper work with the Auric program and the materialization, and like, we're going to be doing a lot of materialization work with that next class that we're doing in August. It's going to be in some of even the free classes and stuff. Like, usually when I do it, I don't do it just an isolated way. We kind of cover it a lot of different ways in an area. And there's different levels and there's different kinds of materialization. But starting here with healing, like you said, you have some health issues on that particular side, you have some patterns in your life. Even if we start simple with the cinnamon, then the mugwort, and then
Valerian.
the valerian. And so the way that I would do it is do the materialization breath with cinnamon, with mugwort, do the, like how we just did it, the brain spine, brain soles of the feet. And then with the valerian, do the four quadrants.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Craig.
You're so welcome. Yeah. Because like I was saying, the first part, the action part, um, with the cinnamon, you're still kind of going out beyond the senses. And then, that one, not as much as some of the other processes, but still the same idea. You're doing it, because if you think about it, like cinnamon is stimulating the body's processes, right? It stimulates all the body's processes. So even with that, you're going beyond the repetition of the body into something that is beyond what it normally does, because you're stimulating processes that might be laying dormant or might not be functioning well. So even there, you're still going beyond the senses. You're going beyond the repetition of homeostasis. You're going beyond the repetition of the mind. Then you're putting something in motion. And the mugwort helps kind of get everything moving and flowing in a particular way. And it's what you would use to break up blockages in the body, especially like in Chinese medicine. You use mugwort to open up the channels.
Wow.
And then once that healing energy kind of comes in, then you use the restorative to restore that. You've made the shift, so now you're restoring things in the body and you're integrating it. And so in the body, it starts to bring a new kind of repetition in the body that's been upgraded in homeostasis, but it also will upgrade the intellect. Like you have this new idea or this new process, this new kind of awakening that gets integrated into your normal everyday intellectual mind. And so that going back and forth between the materialization process and bringing it in, even on the level of just like physical healing, you still can break through things.
This is great. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
You're so-
And for those of you guys who just joined us, we're still doing the art programming shares and questions, and then I'll cue you guys when we are going to the regular Q&A. Go ahead, Dan, then Terry Lynn.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Greg. You were talking about the aspects of truth.
Mhm.
Something that I've come across before is like, see, like this cup, you know, the cup for it on me, it's on the left side, but the handle is on the right side for like you or the people that are watching. So, I
Mhm.
mean, at the same time, it's the same cup, right? The truth
Mhm.
is the cup, and then it's just a different perspective of it. So just wanted to kind of share that. Um, the other thing is the for this round was extremely soothing and
Mhm.
very calming. It was to the point where I felt I didn't have to breathe, kind of thing. It was that
Oh, nice. Yeah.
deep and relaxing to where
Very
you're
deep
like
stillness. Yeah.
very, just very, I
Yeah.
need to pick up the breath again, kind of thing, so
Right.
it's very, very, very soothing,
Good for you.
calming. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that happens with very deep sustained awareness, is that the breath will slow down and sometimes even have big periods of pause in between the inhalation and exhalation.
Yeah, huge. It was huge. I could feel like my my pulse, right? My heart was beating, but
Hmm.
it's like I didn't need to pick up a breath or something like that. And it was just like really just slow, methodical, and just
Good for you.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank
There,
you.
there's usually like when that's happening, there's usually big shifts in the nervous system. You know how we talk about the different kinds of loops, be it a pain loop, trauma loop, behavior loop, self,
Mm.
some sort of self loop, self-esteem, self-image, whatever. And in that stillness, it's almost like turning your computer off and turning it back on again. Something got upgraded and something's working better. It doesn't mean that it doesn't need to be done again at some point, but it's like it's an upgrade and then an upgrade and then an upgrade.
Right.
And one of the ways that, like, when you have stillness in the nervous system, that's like when, like, your peaceful thoughts or an affirmation really takes hold in the nervous system. Like if you're super stressed out and you go, okay, I'm surrounded by white light, only good comes to me, only good goes for me.
I've gone through
Yeah,
that.
your buddy's like, yeah, whatever. Like,
Yeah, right.
okay,
No,
yeah,
yeah.
that's cute. You're so cute when you say that. Like, but then when the nervous system is really quiet and you go, okay, I'm surrounded by white light, only good comes to me, only good goes for me, your nervous system kind of goes, okay, yeah, that's a thing. Like it's like it believes it, like it integrates it. It's I don't want to say it quite programs the nervous system, but it definitely nudges it in a way that the nervous system starts operating from that place.
Mhm.
you know. So like if you notice like when you say, I'm not the body or I'm surrounded by white light or whatever at the beginning of a session versus the end, when you say it at the end, it feels so much deeper. And part of it is because the nervous system's been calmed down. Whatever practice got done, the nervous system got calmed down. And the nervous system kind of believes you then, but
Mhm.
otherwise, you say in the middle of stress day, it might be a little bit calming, but your nervous system is like, oh, you and your little sayings,
Yeah,
it doesn't really buy
the
it.
little things you do,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Okay.
yeah.
There was a lot of colors going on in there too.
Oh,
When
good.
when I was at that pace.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
very nice.
yeah. I was very, very nice.
Memory is very interesting. Like there's a lot more to memory than
Yeah,
just recall.
yeah,
There's a lot to it. Yeah,
yeah. Very good.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks again.
You're so welcome.
And then go ahead, Terry Lynn.
Hey, Terry Lynn.
There we go.
You're very
Can
choppy.
you,
Might have to stop the
am
video.
I audible? I've been having problems with the speaker and the computer for you.
So we can barely, go ahead and maybe if you turn off the video, that often makes the connection a little better.
Is that better?
Oh yeah, there
Can
you
you hear
go.
me better?
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Samantha. You're awesome as usual. Okay, so a long time ago, um, a- about I believe we were talking about my MS, and
Hmm.
well, I don't know if we were talking about it or not, but you had suggested for me to take memory support, the
Okay.
one with the orange label, a long time ago. And we're doing memory support today,
Hmm.
in dealing with aura. So I'm just a little like, should I be doing this one, which I call number 29, or should I be doing the other memory support?
I think they're the
And
same
which
thing.
one? They smell different to me.
Huh. They should be the same. Sometimes slightly
They
different. The
should be the same?
batches can be like slightly different. Like sometimes the basils will smell a little different, or when I'm blending it, it might be, a little tiny bit more of something, but they're pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so is this still your suggestion to take for my MS in general, or just my
I mean, there's all
craziness in my
kinds.
brain?
Yeah, there's all kinds of things you can do for MS. The memory support I like very much for MS. The other thing that has gotten used a lot, especially like in Europe, it's not necessarily like going after the MS directly, but it helps to offset some of the symptoms, is lemon verbena. And you would have to take that internally. You could inhale and probably get it on the body, and that might do some, but it's very calming, it's very soothing, it's good for the glands, but it kind of takes the edge off of some of the effects of the MS. And then another thing for MS. How are your symptoms these days?
My symptoms are kind of like hit and miss. They oscillate all over the place. Like, I mean, my major thing today is my tongue is numb in the middle and to the left, and the left side of my face is slightly numb. My walking is awful, and I'm tired a lot right
And
now.
a lot of tension and spasms in the body, or
I I don't really have tensions and spasms that much. I feel like they're pretty good.
I would say maybe even before like I like the idea of lemon verbena for you, but like I also kind of like marjoram or mandarin petitgrain. And that could be like a body tonic or an ointment, a salt bath, a lotion, just something just to help kind of take some of the spasms and tension out of the body and just help the body kind of, like you said, like walking might be a little bit hard or, the nerves aren't functioning quite like they should. Um, Nerve help crosses my mind, but I'd almost rather see do marjoram or like petitgrain. The reason why I say mandarin petitgrain is it's a little bit more relaxing than some of the other petitgrains. Um, Even like basil could be okay. Um, I think there was a time where I was playing with black pepper, like black pepper, white pepper, pink pepper, and some individuals that had MS. I don't know that I got like amazing results with it, but it was like a thing we were trying. So I'm gonna still say I'm stick with like marjoram and things like that. Yeah.
Okay.
How's your
Um,
sleep? I'm just curious. How's your sleep?
that's a really good question. Just recently, I've added melatonin back into my
Hmm.
pills of the day, and I've been sleeping, I would say, good. Like
Okay.
I'm getting, according to my fabulous watch, I get like, over 100 minutes of deep sleep, and then a lot of REM and light
Okay.
sleep too.
Yeah.
So
Good, good.
I feel like taking the melatonin right now feels really, really good. Um, we have some extra stressful things. I also got terminated from my job, and
Oh, I'm so
also
sorry to hear that.
we're also losing our house. So all
Oh my
that
God.
stress, yeah, all that stress with the MS is just like
Oh my God.
piling.
Okay,
So there's a lot
so
of fire.
marjoram is good for stress, but let's even like shift it a little bit. Clary sage is also very good for stress, and it's very good for like it can be used for as like an antispasmodic as well. And so like I'd say whatever you had, but those would be like maybe my top two choices besides the memory support and I probably would go marjoram or clary sage just to help with the tension of all that. Because I mean, for anybody, that's like crazy. And then you're dealing with MS on top of that. So we need to be extra careful about like stress levels and spasms in your body and making sure you get deep sleep and things like that. So,
Yeah, June pretty much just like totally a blur. The only thing I remember about June really was
yeah.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That was it. Like that's all I remember. So yeah. But okay, so memory support just do inhaling, right? And the marjoram
Yeah.
petitgrain, am I doing that internal or external?
I would probably put it on the body. Like, you could do neat, you could do salt baths. I kind of like the idea of body tonic, salt baths, or an ointment. Even just putting a bunch of lotion and then rubbing it together. And then you don't even have to cover the whole body, but I'd say like your torso or your back, or like if you have some hot spots, I would try that, definitely,
Okay.
going through what you're going through, the more you can keep stress levels down and tension down in your body, the better you'll do through all that. And if you start getting like, where it's escalating or something like that, please email us and let us know so we can kind of help you through that.
Perfect. Thank you. And the clary sage internal body? How do you want that?
Topical, like inhalation or topical. One of the things that I like to do with clary sage is, obviously put it on the body like we said, but inhaling the clary sage like through the organs of blood purification. So lungs, liver, gallbladder, kidney, spleen. It's like a really quick way to flush a lot of stress out of your body, like really quick. And I do that on a regular basis. You know, I will do that. And, for me, I like to take basil for like just, because I'm having to write a lot and stuff. And so like for mental stress, I use basil. But for like the physical stress, like the physical body, the clary sage is better.
And the basil, do you take it internally or is that also
I
inhale
do.
or body?
Yeah, yeah, you can inhale it, but I take healthy amount of drops a day. I probably take 12 to 15 drops of basil a day, be it holy basil or just regular basil. And, the idea is, it stimulates cognitive function but like I have to, I'm writing a lot. And also if my mind gets tired, I had really bad dyslexia when I was young. And right now it's not too bad. But if I get real fatigued, I start getting dyslexic again. And so I use the basil just to keep pounding at keeping my brain from getting too fatigued and keeping it going from that into the dyslexia.
Thank you so much. You're always so helpful and so fabulous. I really
Oh,
appreciate
you're so
you.
sweet. Thank you. But if it escalates for whatever reason, I mean, you're going through some stressful stuff. Email us and let us know. Like, like we'll help you however we can.
Thank you, sir.
You're
Thank
so
you.
welcome.
And then we have one more art programming share in the chat. And so if you want to ask a question or have a share for just the regular Q&A, go ahead and you can raise your hand at this time. So the share was, I find this very powerful. My heart really expanded and I saw something like Kuan Yin in a deep pink robe and the robe changed to a violet blue.
Hmm.
Then I saw a man in a suit beside Kuan Yin.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but
Interesting,
beautiful.
especially with the memory support. That's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
a
yeah.
very interesting visual. Yeah, I'm always surprised when I have something like a memory support that, smells like has peppermint, things that are going to wake up my brain, that I'm like, oh my gosh, this just knocked me out.
Yeah,
Like, oh man, had a hard time staying conscious during it. So that's pretty funny. All right, well, that will complete this week's week 29 memory art program. And next week we are on week 30. Your oil is going to be mind, and it is for mental processing.
Oh yeah, I remember that blend.
Yeah,
I like that blend.
should be pretty great.